And today I'm going to talk to you about something really, really important. And I know you're going to want to hear this. It's how to break up with someone. Hi ladies, Jaki Sabourin here, your executive love coach and CEO of Engaged at Any Age, a company that helps women deliberately date and consciously create the man of their dreams. I met and married my old soulmate match husband, Michael, after being single for 8 years, and I'm still on the honeymoon and passionate about helping you get engaged at any age. Oh, getting dumped is never fun, but it's really hard for the person that's doing the dumping because you will experience a range of emotions like guilt or shame or anger or, sadness. It's really sad when you realize that things are not working out and you have to end it. And I can tell you this, that it's better than being dumped, but it's never easy breaking up with someone. So I wanted to give you three suggestions, 3 tips, 3 tools to help you navigate this really challenging situation, because I really am a strong believer in you moving on. As soon as you have your truth that the relationship is over, you need to move on as quick as possible, because I don't want you to waste your precious time. And so many women get bogged down in relationships that aren't going anywhere, that they can't communicate with their partner. They're not happy. They're not being honored, not being heard, but they stay because they're afraid they won't meet anybody else. And I don't recommend that you live your life this way. And that's why I create all these videos. I really want to empower you to live your best life. And so let's start off with before. I'm going to do the before, during, and after the breakup. And I want you to make sure you stay to the very end so that you can hear what my free gift is. And I want to invite you, before I jump into the video, to join my Bridge to Love community. So my Bridge to Love community is a membership community where you have the opportunity to work with me, get a feel for the work that I do. I have a content-rich home study course, tons of tools, trainings that are already created for you, waiting for you to take advantage of them. You can download them, you can print them, and you'll always have access to them. You really need the support, and the best thing about this is my community, where I support you in a Facebook group where we have a community of women, and my love coaches, and what they're doing is providing 24/7 support for you. When you have a question like, I'm going to break up with my boyfriend, what do I do? Or I got this text, what do I do? Or I haven't been dating in years, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Jackie, we're going to tell you what to do 24/7. You really need that kind of support so that you can build confidence, so that you can feel empowered, so that you can feel like you're not alone on this journey, so that you can get your belief back that it can happen for you. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that watching these videos is really valuable to you because I get a lot of feedback from my community, how helpful the videos are and how much you're growing. But here's the thing, all this knowledge that I'm teaching you is useless unless you apply it. And in order to apply it, you need the support of a community. You need this structure and a little accountability and people to check in with. And that's why I created the Bridge to Love program to begin with, so that you have a place to exhale, to turn to when you have questions, so that you can move forward much faster. I'm telling you, it speeds up the process exponentially, and that's why I've created it, because I don't want you to spend another moment being single if love is what you want. So make sure you take a look at the link in the box that I put below about the Bridge to Love program. And if you like the content that I'm going to share about how to break up with a man, then please like, share, and subscribe to my page so you never miss another episode. Okay, let's jump right into how to break up with someone. So I wanted to do before, during, and after a breakup. So before you break up, I want you to consider where you're going to do it. Now, if you've been in a relationship with this man and maybe you've even been in love with him, it would be better if you went to his home to break up with him so that you can leave whenever you want. That way he can stay there and process his feelings and you can get out of there. If you're at your home, it's really awkward because he might storm out the door, or maybe he wants to sit there and talk for a long time and you don't really want to do that. So I really recommend that you go to his home so that you can leave. And another thing is, if you don't feel safe with this person, definitely break up in public. Definitely, if it's been a longer relationship, go to a mall and sit on a bench where you can walk away where there's other people around. Don't go to like a coffee shop where people can hear you, but go to someplace neutral where you can speak your truth, and then you can get up and walk away and other people are around. So the other part about breaking up before, if you have been dating a man just a little bit, say you haven't hit the I'm in love part, but you maybe agreed to exclusivity, and that was just because he wanted to scoop you up, you got caught up in it, then you went on 5 to 6 to 7, 10 dates, and you decided after that period that it wasn't something long term. And so in this case, I really think that you can go ahead and break up with him on the phone. I really recommend it. You know what? It's going to save him a lot of grief, because he doesn't have to look at you and he can hang up. He can get off the phone and go process by himself. And it was only a short relationship, so I think that's totally appropriate. And the third part about that is, if you really haven't been dating that long and he's made some kind of assumptions that you guys are a couple, or maybe you guys said you were, but you changed your mind, you can go ahead and break up with him on a text. I know it's like, really? Well, yeah, really, because time is precious. And also, I think that if you haven't had a long-term relationship with him, and maybe you haven't gotten to the physical intimacy piece, I think it's okay to initiate it in a text by just saying, hey, I've enjoyed our time together, and when I reflect on it, I don't feel that we're on the same page anymore, or we're just not on the same page, and I wish you the best. Good luck in your search, and I'm going to go in another direction. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And one of my clients asked me, how do we let a guy down nicely? And I'm like, you don't. You just let him down. There's nothing nice about getting dumped, right? So I'm not trying to sound harsh, but I'm just saying the reality is, when you're going to let a guy down, just let him down. That's the important thing. Is you don't really know what he's feeling. Don't make an assumption that he's going to be all busted up. He might be seeing somebody else. He might be fine with it. He might have been on the verge of breaking up with you. You just don't know. However, if you're feeling this way, make sure you take action right away. So the second thing is during phase. It's really important. I want you to be really straightforward. It's so important to be really straightforward, because there's no easy way to do this, face it, and it hurts probably you to know that you're hurting him. So, but it'd be better if you just, rip the bandage off right away. Don't meet him and start all this other talk. Just say, there's no easy way for me to do this, and it hurts me knowing that I'm hurting you, but I need to end this relationship. And that's what you say. And then he's going to do one of many things. He might beg you to stay. And the problem I have with this is, if he's already begging you to stay or trying to convince you, someone shouldn't have to beg you or convince you to stay in a relationship. Obviously, there's been problems. That's why you're breaking up with him. You've given it a lot of thought. It's not an easy thing to do. Begging and trying to convince you is just going to make you doubt yourself. I would not fall for that. Another thing that can happen is they might get angry. And anger is really a mask for something deeper. Typically, it's a mask for pain. Generally speaking, in most cases, it is. And, not everybody can control their responses when they're getting dumped. It's pretty painful. And it definitely knocks the ego a bit, right? So just stay calm if he's getting angry, and just remember it's a secondary emotion. And unless he does something violent, just let him kind of exhale a little bit of that emotion. And the next thing that can happen is he can get really sad. And this applies to, both ways. You're getting dumped or he's getting dumped. You can get really sad. He's going to get really sad. And in this case, I really recommend being empathetic. Validate him. Validation means to give value. So give value to his feelings, and just be like, I know this is really hard for you, and I'm sorry. I know it's not what you wanted to hear, and I'm really sorry that I hurt you. And that's it. I mean, that's all you can do is just to validate and empathize with him. Another thing that might happen is they might promise to change. And I have a real problem with this because you probably asked them about this behavior many times and they're not going to change. You've already, discussed it and brought it to his attention, and you're and promising to change just because somebody doesn't like something is impossible. People can't change that easily. As adults, it is very hard to create permanent behavior change. And that, by the way, is what I teach in my Bridge to Love program. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's just that some of your behavior may not be serving you. And so, maybe he needs to go through some therapy, some counseling. Maybe he needs to get a coach. But if you've already discussed why you're breaking up with him, and you've made your decision, then I wouldn't recommend making any changes just because he says he's going to change. That rarely happens. And then this is the after piece that I want to tell you about. So after the breakup, you need to tell your friends and family right away, because he might try to contact them. And, he might be a little desperate. And so go ahead and call up whoever you know that was in contact with him or knows him. Or even if they don't, let them know of your relationship status. It's really for your safety, just in case something backfires. And also because it lets them know where you're at. And it's good to communicate with your friends and family so that they can be there for you if you're having any mixed emotions and you need someone to process with. And so make sure you take care of yourself, your physical and your emotional needs when you're going through a breakup. Make sure you take time to process and allow all the feelings around the breakup to surface and release them. Anything you don't release, you get to keep. So you want to make sure you process and release any toxicity left behind by this relationship so that you're clear, so that you don't take some of this baggage into the next relationship. That's why you want to make sure you take time. And it just depends on how long you're in a relationship to decide how long that's going to be. I mean, you're the only one who knows, but I would give you a guide that if it was just dating back and forth, for 10 times, I would give yourself a week to reset and nurture yourself. If you spend more time than a week, then you're definitely triggered. You're unconscious and you're regurgitating everything he said and you did, and maybe even doubting yourself. And that's really unhealthy for you, because we attract what we are. We attract what we think about. If you're thinking about this breakup and what you did, what he did, what he said, what you said, back and forth, you're actually attracting more of the same. You're going to feel horrible. What you want to do is just process and release it. Release it so you can move on. So manage your emotional needs and take care of yourself, okay? Take care of yourself. Don't just jump back into another relationship. Give yourself a little break, and stay off social media. Don't process your breakup on social media. And I think that's good. Just take some time to yourself. Don't look at his social media as a good thing. Just that's the next thing I want to tell you is make a plan for social media. It's really important. We're all on social media now. So if you break up with a man, as soon as you get off the phone, you need to unfriend him and block him. And I know that's really hard because you're like, I just still want to be friends. Okay, you may want to be friends, but you don't want him stalking you on your page or, you don't want that. And you don't want him posting anything on your page or tagging you in photos because he's feeling melancholy. You really need to stop and block. Because if you don't do this, I promise you the repercussions will be felt and there's consequences. So be a grown-up and go ahead and just follow the steps all the way through. Be consistent. If you're going to break up with somebody, make sure you take all these steps. It's so helpful, the before, during, and after steps that I gave you. And another thing that I want to remind you is to consider deleting images of you and him on your Facebook or Instagram. It's really important because here's the thing that has happened to me, actually. And so what happens is you forget about an image because it's so far back, you're like, you didn't even see it. And then you go out with somebody new, and then you become Facebook friends, and then they look through your pictures, and there's this random photo of you and this other guy so long ago that you forgot about it. It means nothing, but there it is. It's something now you have to discuss with your new guy, makes him feel insecure or questions your loyalty or any of that. So it's really important to comb through your social media and delete all those pictures because you've moved on. And it also sends a clear message to the universe that you are ready for your next experience, your next man. The next experience is going to get you closer to attracting your soulmate. And the next one could be the one. That's why I really recommend don't stay in relationships that you aren't happy in, that you're not getting your needs met, that you can't communicate in, and that are stagnant and not going anywhere. And you can't try to pull a guy along. He's either in or out. And men that say they're all in, but that they don't show you by their actions and behaviors, just look at their actions and behaviors, and that will give you the answers, not the things they say, but what they do. Okay, so I hope this was helpful, okay? And ladies, I want you to take my Soulmate IQ. That's my free gift. It's just go to Soulmate IQ right now. It's my soulmate assessment. It helps you to discover which frequency you are vibrating at, and I'm going to help you get further into alignment by sending you your frequency along with the feminine exercise to help you to fast track your ability to attract your soulmate. This soulmate assessment is it's uncanny how accurate it is. And so please take time. It's just a few minutes, soulmateiq.com, and get your feminine exercise. And I'm sure you're going to be very happy with the results because it's going to help you to move yourself along. And that's my goal, is to help you get engaged at any age. I hope this training was helpful, and just know I'm always sending you so much love. Bye.